Right, everyone, if you've not seen it, click below. There's a new video with a collaboration of a lot of us from the Japanese history side of things, and we've made a video about shinobi poems, and it's up on the Shogunate's channel, and the link is in the top pin, okay? So, go and have a look. If you've watched it, or you want to wait till after this, here we go. Right, so recently, what happened was, Sean from Tairyu Shakuhachi, sorry, Chip is doing my head in. So, right, basically, he came along and said, Anthony, what have you got on music and poems, you know, to do with ninja, or what have you got to do with music? And I said, well, I've got these poems, these shinobi poems, so how about this? So we got Scott from Sengoku Studies, we got Sean from Tairyu, and we got Brian from Dawn Till Dusk, Dusk Till Dawn Stories, and we got obviously Sengoku Studies, and then Nick hosted it all. So we did the work in the background with Stephen Najiri doing some bass work in the background at the beginning. But he doesn't feature in the video because he's gone off doing some Buddhist things. So, but he did some background research to set us off. And it has taken about 3 months to create lots of background research, lots of amazing things. And I'm well impressed, guys. So we've got, it originally came from the poems we published. Now, what we don't know is how far back these poems go, but we do know that they are kind of traceable at least to 1610-ish, reasonably 1610. Before that, we start to say we don't know. But they are, only once I was sat in Yoshie's kitchen, and she had a friend who was a music teacher who also loved classical Japanese music and studied classical Japanese music, and she said, well, we don't know what melodies these are to, but she said, oh, well, you know, we know they're tanka poems, and tanka poems go to this, or this melody, so here you go, Anthony, this is what we do. And she sang them, and it was the first time they've probably been sung in hundreds of years. But here's, if I can get the sample, here's Sean doing it, first time live for hundreds of years, I hope. If I can't remember if I ever put that woman up, I can't remember. But basically, very, very rare, this footage.
大風や大雨の降る時をこそ忍びをうちの頼りと忘れ
So anyway, right, Sean did all the, Scott from Sengoku Studies did all the background research for us for checking about roughly where these poems are from. And we know it's Ogasawara. So most people know the name Ogasawara in the samurai community. They're like, yeah, Ogasawara, the ritual etiquette school. But actually, they're still samurai and they've still got to do war. And even though they've done ritual and etiquette for many, many years, and to be honest, I don't even know how close those families are connected. It's like anything, just because it's got the same family name doesn't mean all those branches are connected. So I couldn't tell you exactly, you know, whether they are not, because you get Natori, who I know very well, but there's Natori branches in the city of Natori, there's Natori branches in the city of, in Takeda's city, you get, you know, where in his province areas, you get Natori from Wakayama, and they all do different things. They may be related briefly, you know, or in the background, but you don't know if they do the same things. But we have done, Scott's done an excellent view of looking back and finding where these poems are, at least the basis of where these poems are from. What's wonderful, though, is to go into, like, Brian went into the background of, well, actually, these poems are very simple, and not simple meaning silly or bad, but meaning direct and practical. So most poems, as you will see in the Shogunate's video, are like, okay, you know, we're doing these poems, we've got this clever little play on words, we've got this multi-meaning here, and it's all this inflection, and all this sort of stuff you do with poetry, which, you know, he enjoys, same with Shakespeare and all that. You can intellectualize this till the cows come home, and, you know, people who write them do that and have multiple meanings, but these are just like, here's how to be a ninja. This is how to be a ninja. Done. There's no messing about. And as he says, it's quite surprising that they didn't even play off Shinobu, endurance. And there's also Shinogu as a very similar thingy, but they didn't play just like, this is a shinobi, this is what they do, we should do this. So to me, and then it moves on, to Sean, and basically it starts saying, well, here's how it sounds. Did we put this music? We don't know what music. We don't even know if they put music to it. Whether they were, you know, everybody thinks of the ninja in the fields and they're singing along as they're rice planting, like sailors sing along. You know, there's all that to contemplate as well. But to me, and this gets really problematic because it's like, farmers have singing songs like farmers across the world. Ninjas are considered farmers, but that's a misunderstanding of the Edo period reflection, and from one account talks about people doing ninjutsu being farmers, but that was after the invasion of Nobunaga when they lost their livelihoods. So you've got this crazy bit, but we don't know whether in early Sekiro period, when the idea of samurai was not so concrete, whether they went and farmed anyway and then sang anyway. So it's a bit of a convoluted, complex, not circular, but like this sort of argument, depending on where you are in time, whether they are or are not farmers. So they might just be singing in the field. They might be old. It might be as simple as old Uncle Joe is sat there with his banjo, and he's like, ninjas, when you do this, make sure you do that. You know, if you're in a field at night, blah, 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 watch out for crickets chirping, blah, blah, blah. And then the kids are all listening and we all sing along, you know, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, Humpty Dumpty, yeah, keep going, which is about a king's cannon, allegedly. So you have this, you have all of this to contend with. So, and there's lots of unanswered questions, but my number one thing in life is it doesn't matter if you have unanswered questions. It is better to be 70% right on a great thing than 1% right that nobody ever sees, or sorry, to be 100% right on something nobody ever sees, on a little thin article that nobody ever does. It's the same with the swordsmanship. There's bits we don't understand, there's bits we don't know, and what you have to fill in gaps. Sometimes when you fill a gap in history, it's easy because it's such a small leap between things that it just fits in. You know it's a gap, we don't know, we don't have any evidence for it, but the evidence surrounding it, so imagine a triangle, the evidence surrounding it is solid evidence, and there's a triangle gap left, and you think, does a triangle go in there? Triangle fits. Let's go with that. Sometimes the gaps are too much that you think, well, it sort of fits and it might be a bit wrong. We just don't know. But then a lot of people, a lot of historians go, we're not touching that. Let's not do that. Oh, that's a bit dodgy. So you've got to make that leap of faith, but it's got to be a leap of faith based on solid work. And what we've done over the last 2 or 3 months is put together and say, well, it could be this, it could be that. As I say, everybody's been busy over Christmas, but we've really, really worked on it. Sean's done the most work. He's been going through all the text to make sure everybody's right in doing this. He's saying, you know, Brian, you do this, Anthony, you do this, and all that. And we've put it all together, and it's come, and it's Nick who's edited it all together and put it up there, which is wonderful. So please, please, please do go and have a look if you've not already, but I'm sure you have because you're all mostly subscribed to Nick anyway. So there we go, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you want a copy of the Shinobi poems, you can get them in my books. They are there. And the full 100 have been translated into English. I'll put a link below for the book if you want it. But I hope you enjoyed that, and I look forward. Tell me if you want us to do more of those types of things, more of those collaborations. They do take a lot of work, and it's a lot of extra work for everyone, to be honest. But it's nice for us all to come together, and I really like the idea of people coming together and sharing what we know about this stuff. So anyway, there you go, guys. I will speak to you later.